Hello everyone, now I'm going to explain about quicksort. Quicksort is a sorting algorithm that uses divide and conquer strategy. So there are like many sorting algorithms like merge sort, insertion sort and search sort, and now we are going to talk about quicksort. So there will be a list of elements and we have to sort it out using quicksort. So the procedure we are going to use for quicksort is the partition procedure. So take some element a of s, and the left side of the element of the a of s should be lesser than the middle element a of s, and the right side should be greater than a of s. So now we are going to take a look about the algorithm of quicksort. So first we are going to partition a subarray as usual, and we are going to take the first element of the array as the pivot element. So input of this element is going to be a 0 till n minus 1, and as you know, like left side should be lesser than and right side should be greater than the pivot element, I mean the middle element of course. And now the output should be a of l to r. So this is the algorithm for the quicksort, and now we are going to start from this where I is greater than or equal to j. We are going to swap it, and if the pivot element is, and we are going to compare the pivot element and the a of j element, and we are going to swap it if lesser or greater, and now we are going to return the value of j. So let's take an example. So this is the example of the quicksort, and now let's take the first element as the pivot element and the second element as ith element and the last element as j element. And now we are going to compare I and j equal, so that if the element is lesser than, we are going to swap it. If it's greater than, we are going to swap it, otherwise we will just leave it. So now as we compare the element, now 9 is the ith element and 4 is the jth element, and now I is greater than j, so we swap the elements and with I and j. So after the swapping, as usual the first element will become as the pivot element, and now the swapping the 4 will replace 9 and the 9 will replace 4, and then we are going to compare the next set of elements, which is 8 and 2. So 8 is I and j is 2, and 8 is greater than 2, so we are going to like swap it again, and so it will become 2 and 8. So after this we are going to compare the jth element and the pivot element as in the algorithm is given, and now we are going to so pivot element is greater than j element, so we are going to swap the